There is a girl that you like. You've liked her for a while now, and you've been friends for over a year, but despite your best efforts to play it cool and bury the evidence of it, she must have found that out. You, of course, are caught off guard by this message, but you decide to take your time to write something with meaning. You pour your heart out into a beautiful, deep testimony of how you really feel about this girl, and with a pause of hesitation, you send it. She is flattered, a little off-put by your oversharing, but she finds it cute. You hit it off, and within a week's time you're eating lunch with her and hanging out with her after school. You really get to know her, and in a month's time you asked her out and been on a few dates. You really think she might be the girl for you, and you hope that she feels the same way. Eventually, after you settle down and aren't driving to her house at 3 in the morning to throw rocks at her window, you still can't help but feel butterflies in your stomach when you see her. You get cozy with her as the autumn sets in, sleds when the snow falls, and go on walks when spring finally comes around. Your 1-year anniversary is coming up. Not right away, as you have another month and a half, but still, that's a long time to be in a relationship. It's the longest one you've ever been in. Of course, this is when you get into your first argument. You were hanging out with some of her friends in the park, and you say you're going to McDonald's to get some food, and ask her if she wants anything. She asks for chicken nuggets, and her friend jokingly corrects her and says they are chicken McNuggets. She says that's stupid, and they definitely aren't called McNuggets. Being the genius that you are, you correct her and side with her friend. You get into a spat, but don't make it too big of a scene of it before picking up the food. As her last friend leaves, she confronts you with a "How dare you!" and says that it's awful that you even consider siding against her. You ignore her frustration and say that they are actually McNuggets and that this is petty. The screaming begins, and she claims that you sided with her friend because you think she is prettier than her, and because of that, you call her a half-wit. You both say things you shouldn't have said, and when you're both raging, she says, "We're through." You storm off and drive home. The next day, you feel bad and message her, but she responds with hostility. A week goes by, and despite your best efforts, she won't call you back or respond to your texts. It's with a heavy heart that you realize in the dark of your bedroom on a Saturday night that things might actually be through. You won't be with her again. Of course, there is another scenario. You pick up your phone to see a message, and when you read it, you don't hesitate. You respond with a, "Yeah, I think you're cute," and she's flattered. You ask her out after a month this time, because you don't want to rush her into an unwanted relationship. You take her to all the movies she likes, and hang out with all of her friends. You follow her every command, and she is happy. A season goes by, the school year ends, and before you know it, you reached your 1-year anniversary. She talks to you about a guy in her class, and says he has nice abs. You want to tell her to stay away from that guy, but you bite your tongue. A week later, she tells you that she's going to movie with him, and when you stand up and say, "Wait, what?" she asks, "Is there a problem?" and you say no. Another month goes by, and you haven't heard anything else about that guy, thankfully, and you are relieved, despite how upset you were at the time. When you graduate and get a full ride to your dream university, you give it up to go to the college that she is going to. 2 years after that, she hints at wanting to get married, so you do. You never have children, but you do host your wife's book club on Thursdays. A decade later, and you're sitting by yourself while she's at the bar, and you realize that despite never getting into an argument with her or having her leave you, you don't feel happy here. You spent the best years of your life guaranteeing you wouldn't lose her, but you sacrificed time with your friends, turned down dream jobs, and lost so many opportunities. You never got to be yourself, and you feel lost because of it. You wish you'd done so much more with your life than just tend to her. There is another scenario, where you get her message again, where you respond to that first message with, "Yeah, wanna smash?" and she calls you gross and never messages you again. Another, where you panic and say no, and never get past awkward highs in the hallway. Another, where you blow the first date and never talk again. Another, where you don't even respond. Even another, where you call her stupid for asking. Across all possible scenarios, problems with how you act, too many arguments, not enough freedom, it is an atlas of dead ends. But then again, there is one exception. There's another scenario, where you see the message and pause. Not for too long, but not timeless either. You send a crafted response where you tell her just the right amount, and it's a message she saves forever. You hit it off again, but not without hitches. You argue about the small stuff, but you also fall in love. College is difficult, as you have to go to separate schools, but you make it work. You get out and land a job in the same town that she gets one in, and even though it's not the best job you could have gotten, you're happy. You propose. But this time on your own terms. You have a spectacular wedding where all of your friends and all of her friends come. You have children, 2 of them, and you love them too. You may catch yourself singing for joy for what a brilliant outcome your life was with her, and what an impossibly lucky person you must have been. You truly made the right choice. But this isn't a scenario. This is real life. You don't have a set of responses to pick from, and you don't actually know if they're going to fall in love with you. You don't know where your own path will take you, and you sure don't know that this is the scenario that everything works out in. But if you did know, you wouldn't still be sitting here, would you?